Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Well, we have a active morning with areas of fog, rather dense actually, showers, thunderstorms, capable of heavy downpours. We had one severe thunderstorm earlier this morning, and now we have a cold front that is approaching the region, and three air masses impacting our region as well. So, very busy morning. But if you're interested in more summer-like weather, well, I got some good news for you there as well. But before we do that, please like, share, and subscribe. It actually helps this channel out quite a bit, so please. And also, if you're interested in more detailed information, like what's going on in the tropics, why are we seeing these different lifting patterns, and what can we expect as we move on through the rest of this month, definitely check out the Premium Consulting membership, only $15 a month. Now, let's dive into our observations. And this is pretty interesting. We have three air masses that we are working with right now. The first two are right in front of us. One, the Maritime air mass coming in from the Canadian Maritimes with an area of low pressure to the southeast of Long Island, transporting winds from the east into our region, supporting areas of low clouds and fog. Some locally dense fog advisories are out in central and southern New Jersey with visibility below a mile. In some cases, down to a fourth of a mile. That's pretty low. Okay, that's some dense fog, and with that, areas of showers. While that's happening, we have this stationary front here with this wave of low pressure back here, basically walling up that maritime air mass up against the Appalachian Mountains with a tropical air mass. Notice temperatures are in the upper 60s here, approaching 70 degrees with higher humidity. That is your tropical air mass. So this is the clash that's going on right now. And what's happening is that the lifting process is leading to thunderstorms forming here, some of them a bit strong, but then as they move into this stable environment here, they just elevate and become heavy rainfall. So when we take a look at our radar and surface map from WeatherTap, you can see the heavy rainfall that has formed. And in fact, let's animate this real fast. And again, here's our stationary boundary. This is the warm air pushing northward, okay, trying to move over this maritime air mass. So what you're getting is areas of moderate to heavy rainfall, not much in the way of severe thunderstorms. The rain was heavy enough to produce a flood warning down here to southeastern Pennsylvania. And this will continue to lift on through as we go on through the morning hours. Then in the afternoon, this stationary front will finally fall apart and lift northward, and we'll start to get southwesterly winds in this more tropical air mass. And where's the third air mass? That's back here. That's your polar air mass behind this polar cold front. That's going to open up the potential for a few isolated thunderstorms. So when we take a look at the infrared satellite picture, you can kind of see this whole thing playing out really nicely. Your strongest lifting is up here because that's where your coldest cloud tops are. And you see a little bit of lifting focus down here with our stationary boundary with our maritime air mass trying to fight the tropical air mass. This is your tropical air mass, and here's your polar air mass back here, getting ready to invade from the Ohio River Valley and the eastern Great Lakes. On the visible satellite picture, it shows up even better. Again, maritime air mass. Notice how the clouds here are going from southwest to northeast. Those are your mid-level winds. So above the surface, let's say around 9 to 25 millibars, the winds are all from the southwest. So at the surface, you get that easterly wind transporting the maritime air mass, but everything else is southwest, supporting a warm tropical air mass at the mid-levels. So once this stationary front gives way, all these low clouds are going to start to break up, and you're going to get scattered cloud cover, which is back here. Then the cold front follows, and that opens up the potential for a few isolated thunderstorms. So what does that look like in the model guidance? Well, this is the HRR guidance. Sometimes you might see this on some other sources called Nowcast or anything of that nature. But basically, it's just the HRR. And it's doing pretty well this morning in showing the evolution of our showers and thunderstorms. Notice how they weaken as they move further into the stable air mass. Then by this afternoon, here comes our cold front with a nice line of thunderstorms. Notice the focus is more towards the northern interior, more towards New England. That's where your best lifting and dynamics will be. But down here, we still have a few pesky thunderstorms in the afternoon and moving into the evening hours. Those thunderstorms will collapse as we head past 7 o'clock. Can't rule out a few isolated showers possible, maybe for the Mets game, but I think for the most part, it's going to be tranquil weather conditions, and then after that, it gets pretty quiet. So let's dive into this forecast for today. Series of frontal boundaries move through with scattered showers and thunderstorms. The bulkier rainfall is this morning. Look for high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 70s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast, and upper 70s to lower 80s on the I-95 corridor. For tonight into tomorrow morning, everything clears out. Temperatures fall back into the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior, upper 50s to lower 60s in your suburbs, lower to mid 60s in your urban areas. By tomorrow afternoon, look for scattered cloud cover with high temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 70s over the northern interior, upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast, and lower to mid 80s on the I-95 corridor and Delaware River Valley. On Thursday, a cold front will approach from the north but stall out. This cold front will have the potential of producing a few isolated thunderstorms that could drop through northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, the Catskills, the Hudson River Valley. Most of these thunderstorms are going to collapse before they reach the region, but I can't rule out a few rogue isolated thunderstorms. Further south, pretty much a scattered cloud cover with high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 80s over the northern interior, lower to mid 80s on the I-95 corridor, and upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast. On Friday, this is where things get a little interesting. The front stalls out. There's still that threat for a few isolated thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon hours. Look for low temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 70s over the northern interior, lower to mid 80s along the coast, and mid 80s to lower 90s on the I-95 corridor and Delaware River Valley. So you can see where we shift more to a summer-like feel here. On Saturday, unfortunately, another area low pressure will approach with scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. I know the weekend looks like it's going to be a mess once again. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 60s, high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s over the northern interior, upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast, mid to upper 80s in the Delaware River Valley and I-95 corridor. So unfortunately, it's a bit of an unsettled weather pattern. On Sunday, high pressure will ridge in from the Atlantic, and that's going to lead to variable cloud cover. Can't rule out an isolated shower. Look for low temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s over the interior and in your suburbs, lower to mid 60s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 70s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast with more of that onshore flow. On Monday, an area low pressure will move through the region with the potential for some very heavy rainfall. This one might be something that we're going to have to watch out for. So we'll keep an eye on this, but certainly very, very wet start to next week with low temperatures in the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior, upper 50s to lower 60s along the coast, high temperatures in the lower to mid 60s over the northern interior, mid to upper 60s along the coast, and upper 60s to lower 70s in the Delaware River Valley. And on Wednesday, look for scattered cloud cover, or should I say on Tuesday, look for a scattered cloud cover with a few isolated showers with a few troughs moving through. Look for low temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s, lower to mid 60s along the coast, and high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s over the interior and along the coast, upper 70s to lower 80s on the I-95 corridor. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.